available, obviously that was a no-brainer. And Kasparis is 18 years old and a lot more physically mature, 6'5", 200 pounds. Again, another 18-year-old versus somebody that's 17. So those are different things. And I think if Illinois would have, maybe if they wouldn't have gotten Kylan or they missed on Kasparis, if they were sitting here, and I know last offseason we were like, all right, who's going to play point guard for Illinois? Maybe then it's a different decision. Maybe they then backtrack a little bit and say, you know what, ideally we wouldn't want to take him early, but our roster could use a point guard, and we'll just at least have him as someone that can play that spot for us if we need it and those type of things. But to the staff's credit, they filled that backcourt really, really well. And I think they'll obviously be just fine this year and could get 2 years of Kylan, could get 2 years of Kasparis potentially. And then 2025, as we'll talk about, they're after some guards there that could help. In the meantime, we'll see what Jeremiah ultimately does and where he lands. But, yeah, again, to kind of tie a bow on it, or just kind of the bottom line of it is I think he wants to play this year. And I think the three-point shooting is really the difference between him being a 5-star and a high 4-star and maybe part of his readiness to come into college, although he is slender as well.
Before you talk about some of the other 25 targets, a 309 had a question that I've wondered about before that I am curious if you can answer. What are the rules about reclassifying? Like, anyone can't just say, I'm going to college early, right? It's just a pure, like, credits thing? You need to be able to graduate from some type of high school in 3 years. Is that really all it comes down to?
Yeah, it's meeting, and I'm no admissions expert or anything like that, but it's the way your academic calendar or the way that you attack the requirements that you need. Some places, some schools in particular are built to position you where you can have those boxes checked within 3 years. So as long as your requirements are met, you obviously have to take the ACT and that whole kind of thing, that if you get that done early, there's nothing holding you back from being able to then make that jump to college. So it's about usually the structure of your academics in high school and whether you're at a place that has that flexibility or is already kind of put into place to make that thing happen. So no, nobody can just say, you know what, I think I'm ready to go to college. You have to have the requirements met, and apparently he does.
I'm curious now, going back to what you just said on fears, are more guys going to start to push to do this now? Are we going to see more reclass guys because it's a year earlier that you can make some money? With all the money flying around, I'm curious if there are going to be more cases like this, especially guys maybe that are on the fence where all of a sudden you get an NIL offer and you can make you make $500,000 this year instead of going back to high school, even if the development factors might be so-so. It's an interesting thought to where maybe we see this more. We've already seen two guys with some association to Illinois do it in this class within the last 2 weeks.
It's possible. There has to be that market for you. You have to probably be.
Yeah, you can't. You have to be a 5-star, borderline 5-star talent, right?
I think so. I would imagine so. And I think it's probably a continual evaluation from colleges. And yeah, every case is different. I could tell you, especially for those that are like a Will Riley's case where they're already 18 years old. Even if I just want to use guys from Canada, Dylan Brooks did it. He played 3 years at Oregon, but immediately came in, was all-freshman Pac-12 guy for Oregon coming in out of Canada. He was in August when he committed to Oregon and then decided he was going to reclass, so he just immediately showed up on their campus and started classes. Jamal Murray, middle of the summer, commits to Kentucky, decides to reclass. He's 18 years old. He was a bona fide 5-star, and we know, I think people probably remember, one and done, 20 points a game at Kentucky, and then first-round pick to the Nuggets, and has had a very